All right, welcome back to the Nexus Gaming Series Season 2. I am Bludgeon, coming to you with a Division A matchup between Reality Esports and the Black Hand. This is game number 2. We just finished watching game number 1, which took place on Sky Temple. Sky Temple was selected by the Black Hand. However, Reality Esports managed to take them down in a very exciting game, with a lot of flying around in fancy aircraft. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, I recommend you check that out if you missed it. But this is game 2. We're taking this all the way to Towers of Doom. This map was selected by Reality Esports, which means the Black Hand will have first pick as far as heroes goes for this game. Black Hand banning out Tassadar, deciding they do not want to first pick it, and they don't want to play against it. We saw Tassadar used to decent effect in the last game, getting some pretty nice walls, able to separate teams from each other. However, it didn't end up really working. At least it did not ultimately result in a win, let's put it that way. Now we saw that last time the Black Hand banned out Cho'Gall versus Reality. So perhaps the Tassadar ban is sort of an early lean towards that kind of same idea, trying to take the tools away from a really supported Cho'Gall. Or maybe they want to play Valera. We'll see. The timer is counting down now. And Reality has chosen to ban Brightwing. Interesting choice. Brightwing, of course, has come back into this meta pretty strongly. We see Brightwing being played quite a lot. Strong, persistent AoE healing, as well as the ability to move around the map very quickly. So Brightwing obviously can be in a lane soaking XP while the team is engaged elsewhere, safe with the knowledge that she can get in quickly to her team and help out. So Lieutenant Morales now picked up. We see it's a lot of support focus early in this draft. Tassadar banned, Brightwing banned, Lieutenant Morales first picked. Obviously, they saw how well Infofox was able to use that hero in game number 1, and the Black Hand saying they do not want to see that happen again, deciding to perhaps take that mobility for themselves. Garrosh and Malthael now picked up by Reality. Garrosh having been banned in game 1 by Reality themselves. This time they decide they want to use it. So very threatening heroes having been selected for Reality at this point. Garrosh, someone who is just a very dangerous presence. Anywhere he exists is a very dangerous place for an enemy to be, because they can very soon be somewhere much worse. Malthael. The early pick Malthael is interesting. It gives Black Hand some time to perhaps counter that pick, which I think is what they're doing with the Lucio. Malthael obviously deals a lot of heavy AoE damage in melee range. Lucio, if he decides to choose the Sound Barrier Heroic, can really stifle that for Malthael. And I believe if the damage isn't happening, the healing also might not be happening. I'm not actually totally sure how that works with Malthael, but that could be extremely annoying if that is the case. Vala being the damage threat picked up once again by the Black Hand. They used the Vala last game as well. A couple of nice Reign of Vengeances were had throughout the game. Not enough to get the win. But a fairly strong all-around champion. Obviously someone that the Black Hand is comfortable playing. So we see the double support coming out yet again, and I would not be at all surprised to see Reality follow up with a double support of their own. However, it's now up to them to ban something, so we've got a few seconds to find out what that will be. Probably a tank, and it is the Anubarak. So, interesting kind of flip as far as picks and ban goes. Last game, Reality banned Garrosh, picked Anubarak. This time they've banned Anubarak and picked Garrosh. So obviously in their minds, these are two extremely strong champions to have for your front line, and they'd rather make sure the other team has neither of them. Stukov now being banned against Reality. So we see the continuance of this real focus on supports in this draft. So far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 supports have already been either banned or picked in this draft. And by the time this is over, it could easily hit 7. Eager to find out if that's what Reality wants to do. Reminder of the stakes of this match. The team's currently in the middle of the standings. Reality Esports sitting on 5 points in the league. Black Hand sitting on 7 points. In a matchup last night, the Black Hand was defeated by Illusion Esports 2-0. Illusion and Reality, obviously, it's always a constant question. What is more powerful, Reality or Illusion? If I believe something, does that make it real? What is reality? Is all reality an illusion? These are the kinds of questions we're trying to get to the bottom of here at the Nexus Gaming Series. And if Reality Esports can 2-0 the Black Hand tonight, they will, at least for now, show that Reality is in fact more powerful, because they will get 3 points, which will jump them 1 point ahead of Illusion Esports in the standings. So yet more incentive for Reality to win this game. Wow. Look at the damage threat being picked up by Reality Esports in this draft. I was expecting to see a couple more supports, but no. They say, you know what? You want to ban supports? You want to pick all the supports? Who needs supports? We'll just kill everyone. Garage, Malthael, Gul'dan, Greymane. This is an extremely aggressive and threatening team composition. So I'm very interested to see what they select to finish it up. But it's up to the Black Hand now to respond to this. They need a strong front line, obviously. People who can really stand up to what Reality is going to be putting out. Okay. So the front line is going to be Tyrael and Leoric. Now, Tyrael makes a lot of sense to me here, because when you're dealing with a torrent of damage coming at your face, what you really want is for no one to be allowed to take any of that damage. So what Tyrael can do is lay down some sanctification and protect anyone in that area from taking any damage at all. So I like that kind of adaptive pick against what Reality is going to be doing. The Leoric is interesting. I don't understand it as much, as Leoric is also kind of a very strong tank buster hero, and Reality is not really heavy on the tanks. However, it is someone who, you know what, now that I think about it, Leoric also has a way to reduce the damage of the enemy team. One of the new talents in the Leoric rework, I believe it's at level 16 though, allows Leoric to Wraith Walk through the enemy team. Of course, he can always do that, but if he does that, it reduces damage of anyone he walks through by, I think, 40% for a few seconds. So that could be significant. Perhaps that's what they're thinking of doing here. We see that the final support picked up for Reality was Rhaegar. So, also someone who can deal a fair amount of damage. So this is a really scary team put together by Reality. My question is going to be, how quickly can they kill the Black Hand before they themselves die due to a lack of significant healing? We will find the answers to these questions in game number 2 after it loads. Don't touch that dial. We will be right back. All right, here we are in game number 2 between Reality Esports and the Black Hand. On Reality, we've got Real Rad Dad playing Malthael, Needens on that really awesome pink Rhaegar, Matt407 on Gul'dan, Infafox on Greymane, and Magnetic playing Garrosh. Over on the Black Hand, we've got Disco appropriately playing Lucio, Cupolin playing Lieutenant Morales, Unlucky on Vala, Dayuni on Tyrael, and Akashi playing Leoric, the Skeleton King. Towers of Doom is the map of choice here. This map was selected by Reality Esports. We see a lot of nice sportsmanship between the two teams. A good luck, have fun, being responded to by a lose. Feel miserable. Oh, someone's about to feel extremely miserable as Akashi gets chucked right into the middle of the enemy team. However, the double support's coming into play, healing Akashi right up. A little bit scary, but if you look at the health bars, it's actually Reality who came out on the losing end of that trade. Teams now splitting up a little bit to lane. Looks like Reality deciding to just kind of hang around in the mid lane for now as they chase Dayuni out of there. Everyone now clustering down to this bottom lane. Disco, Unlucky, and Kupolin down here. So that's two supports and the Vala all together. Going to be very hard to get any kills there. Meanwhile, it's Magnetic. Oh my goodness. Tyrael. Poor Tyrael. Taken out by the Rhaegar. I told you that Rhaegar is going to deal some damage, and he got first blood right onto those little claws. Alright, well, it's early in the game. It's not that big a deal. We see Magnetic trying to get a pull onto Disco, but not able to quite pull it off. Up top, what's going on? We've got Akashi facing off against Real Rad Dad. These guys just draining the souls out of everything around them. Couple of spooky dudes up here. Real Rad Dad running a bit low on mana, whereas Akashi's still doing fairly well on that front. But the poke, the persistent damage coming out of that Malthael is a bit annoying. I would have to imagine. First altar phase now coming online. We've got the triangle. We've got most teams gathering up around this bottom side of the map, getting ready for that temple. It's going to activate in about 10 seconds. Akashi and Real Rad Dad deciding to just stay up top for now. Not too concerned about getting down there. It makes sense given that there are altars right here. So Akashi going to grab the safe one for his side. Infofox going to do the same thing for the other side. So the question is, who is going to get this one down bottom to tip the early scales in their team's favor? Matt407, Needens, and Magnetic are here on the side of Reality. Dayuni kind of alone in that little zone right now, but Disco jumps right in, or rather was thrown in by Magnetic. Not able to get a whole lot done. Unlucky. Juking out of that Gul'dan damage. Nicely played there. Akashi now gets here right into the middle of the enemy team. Has to Wraith walk away, getting a lot of damage put down. We'll see how quickly Kupolin can heal that up. Dayuni getting in there. Needens trying to channel that temple, but not able to do it as Akashi jumps right in there. However, Akashi looks like he's going to go down. Leoric dies, leaving 5 people still alive on the side of Reality. Black Hand backing away now, ceding that temple, whatever it is, over to Reality. So, very early edge going to Reality Esports. However, in Towers of Doom, it's just not over until it's over. You can have a 30-1 lead and still lose. So, very early to say what's going to happen here. Magnetic whiffing yet another one of those little pulls. Yeah, you got to give it a try, though. Malthael being left alone in this top lane for now. A lot of juicy minions there for him to get. Hits most of them with that ability, and all that juicy XP is going to get soaked up. Looking at the XP at the moment, Reality with a very, very, very small edge. Not even really worth talking about. Akashi sitting in that bush for a bit. I just love that shiny little mount. I mean, that Star Chariot, I think, is very appropriate for someone like a Skeleton King. If you can't, I mean, if a king can't ride around in a Star Chariot, I ask you, who can? Bottom lane, a little bit of action as Reality and the Black Hand are trading damage back and forth. But, again, both of the supports are down there supporting that Vala. So, really, even though it was kind of a 3v4, it's not a big deal. Needens doing his best to keep his own team alive, doing a pretty good job right now. Magnetic does actually get the pull onto Unlucky and the throw. Look at all that fast damage going down, but look how quickly it gets healed up. And just like that, it's as though it never even happened. God, it's got to feel good to have all of that support on that Vala. Dayuni, Infofox, doing their best to soak up damage in this mid lane. Killing each other's minions. Again, we'll take a moment to think about the souls of these poor little creatures. I mean, these are people. Look. That was a guy who just died. It's a horrible thing, this war. Most action still happening down in the bottom lane. Oh, nice work by Real Rad Dad, grabbing that top camp as the action is focused elsewhere. Forcing, well, not forcing, but causing at least Leoric to go up there and deal with it, leaving his team at a numbers disadvantage for this bottom scuffle, at least for now. Looks like he is finally going to make his way down there. We'll see if it ends up being too late, however. Needon's already channeling. Disco getting chucked in the middle of his enemy team and just killed really quickly. Deoni looks like he might be next, however, Morales able to keep that Tyrael alive for now. Alter going over to Reality Esports again. And looks like they're going to try to continue this push onto this bottom fort. So far, the double support has done a decent job in the laning phase. However, when it comes to these big brawls, I mean, it really comes down to getting a nice throw. Magnetic just wrecking one member of the enemy team immediately. And looks like he's trying to do it again right now. Black Hand invading against this siege camp. Mercenary camp. Yeah, it's a siege camp. And they actually managed to steal it. Well done by them. Deoni, however, thrown behind Magnetic, but Tyrael doesn't really care. Unlucky once again dodging that corruption. Real Radad and Akashi seem to be the designated top laners for this game. No one even going for that health probe. Hitting each other. Not a whole lot going down. Akashi getting a little bit low. Both of these characters obviously have a lot of self-healing. But we'll see if this actually works. Akashi might be dead. Real Rad Dad goes in for the kill and gets it. So Leoric, I'm not sure, a little bit disrespectful perhaps towards the damage that Malthael can do. And pays for it with his life. Of course, being Leoric, he doesn't really have to go too far. He'll be back up in just a moment, but that's a level 10 advantage right now for Reality Esports. What are they going to do with this? 4 members pushing against 3 in this bottom. Looks like they're going to try to take this bell tower out before the altar can activate. Magnetic with a very optimistic pull. Doesn't manage to get anyone. What I like about Magnetic, though, is he's not afraid to try it. It doesn't always work, but when it does, it gets his team a kill, which then turns into objectives. So, well done so far. 4v4 at the moment. Leoric and Malthael kind of just posturing around this altar as the teams come in to support. Real Rad Dad focused a little bit, down to about half health. Infofox now into the middle of things. Rain of Vengeance lands on a couple, but a nice Fear lands on 3. Leoric in the middle of the enemy team really got a lot done with that March of the Black King, but it wasn't enough as he goes down yet again. Magnetic looks like he's going to go down on the side of Reality. 4 members alive for both teams still. Deoni trying to get a channel off. I don't think that's going to happen, but deciding to just keep trying. And Disco actually managed to zone enough that the Black Hand was able to get that altar. So, nice switch of situations there for the Black Hand. Certainly a morale boost to not lose 3 of those altars in a row. And boom, just like that, it's 28-28, and another invade happening on this siege camp bottom. Black Hand deciding that they are going to stay aggressive in this game, not afraid to walk into enemy territory. Magnetic gets caught by a stun just on the edge, but no follow-up, and everybody walks away. Malthael up top. Real Rad Dad has really kind of owned this mercenary camp up top. And the lane as well, I think we've got to say, with that kill onto Akashi. Akashi's going to arrive just in time to see these crazy pumpkin men assault his base. Obviously, we see that Akashi's not afraid to get in the face of Real Rad Dad, even though he lost 1v1 previously. Hopefully, something having been learned from that previous encounter. Going back down to the bottom lane now, we see that Reality is continuing to try to put pressure on this bottom bell tower. Obviously, the more of these towers you have, the more damage you can deal if you manage to activate an altar. But fairly well defended so far by the Black Hand. Disco dancing in just that little middle zone, avoiding that pull. Magnetic taking a lot of damage now, actually. Nice stun, and the Ancestral Healing does go down, healing him back up to full. Leoric getting a nice revenge kill onto Malthael with the assistance of Deoni, it looks like. Infofox deciding to stick around, trying to get a kill onto that Tyrael. Akashi going to get down here, but I don't know if he can stop it. Nice escape from the Dione. Infofox going all in for this kill, and he's going to get it. Probably going to lose his own life in the process, but at that point, I mean, good on him for at least killing somebody else first, making sure somebody goes with him. Magnetic getting a pull onto Capolin. That's not great for the medic, who has to run around in kind of an awkward situation. Unlucky, burning a Rain of Vengeance just to make sure his support gets out of there alive. And he does. Well done. Looking at the state of things right now, it's still quite even. We see that the core scores is 28-28. Be swift, hero. Reality taking advantage of this positioning to get this boss, so that'll swing things in their favor a little bit. Whereas the Black Hand deciding to take this opportunity to actually grab the altar. So fairly even trade there. Black Hand arriving just a little bit too late. Arriving just in time to see that boss being taken. Once again, Dione getting right in the middle of that magnetic pull. Making sure that it does not activate. It only works if he gets you with just the outer edge of it. 24-24. This game remains fairly even. Taking a quick look now. Up top, we see that Akashi actually got taunted and is taking a lot of damage. March of the Black King doing some fair amount of healing. But it's not enough as Leoric goes down yet again. The health bars are low on the side of Reality. Dione coming in for a flank, being chased by Infofox. Sanctification goes down, making his team invulnerable, giving them a chance to heal back up. But Unlucky is taking a lot of focus from the enemy team. Feared, damaged. Oh my goodness. Down to... Oh. Dione is going to drop next. That Vala hung on for dear life for a really long time, hovering around 60 health, 40 health, 50 health, before finally dropping. So that is 2 dead on the side of the Black Hand. Reality now having a clear advantage. Looks like they might finally be able to take one of these bell towers down. This will be the first one in the game if they can do it. At least 10 seconds left on the members of Black Hand to come back in. And it looks like Reality is just going to back out, grab that siege camp while they can, and continue along their way. So, in fact, not all that much accomplished with those 2 kills. They obviously did... Ooh, Akashi catching, I think, all 3 of those corruptions. That's a lot of damage. And just like that, Gul'dan actually finishes that corruption quest. So it's going to do the triple strikes backwards now. It's going to go boom, 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 and then boom, 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 all the way back. So on one of those sort of choke points around an altar, that can really do a lot of damage if someone is stuck in an area. Of course, if you can't land it on anything, it doesn't really matter. Both teams hovering around where this boss used to live. 4 members now chasing 2. Magnetic not able to get that pull, but he went for it. Altars activating in 3 points right now. Akashi catching a lot of that corruption. Again, getting pushed down very low before the engagement starts. Disco tries to get in to help, but split off from the team. And Leoric, oh my goodness. The Black Hand getting wrecked once again by Reality Esports. Reality has certainly had the upper hand in this match so far. Needon's now grabbing that altar. Enough of this charade. Bring down the Gravekeepers. Disco deciding to fly in. Just take a few shots at Matt 407's back while he has an opportunity. Why not? Alright, so it's 20-16. Once again, this game is really not over until it's over, but it's a 3-level advantage currently for Reality Esports, hitting a talent tier up against the Black Hand. It's going to take them a while to get to level 16, so definitely power play at the moment for Reality Esports. They've got a bell tower advantage, they've got a talent tier advantage, but Dione coming in, trying to get... They've separated Infofox off a little bit from the team. However, who is separated from whom here? The sound barrier does go down, protecting the Black Hand, and Reality has to retreat from that team fight. So good job from the Black Hand to display a bit of strength there and show that they are not afraid to engage. Despite what has happened so far in this game, they still believe they can turn it around, and absolutely they can. But it's gonna take some work. They're fighting a talent tier down right now. Dione in the middle of everyone. Jukes out from Magnetic's pull. Looks like they're going to cluster around their bell tower to try to hold on to it and at least kind of stick around for the safety. But, oh, Disco chucked into the back of the team. That is going to be a really difficult thing for him to deal with. He goes down. However, look at all the health bars going down on the part of Reality. That's Greymane going down. That's going to make a big difference in this team fight. Let's see if the double support can keep, the single support at least can keep the rest of the team alive, as Lucio has been killed. Akashi landing the Drain Hope onto Matt. Magnetic being separated out a little bit. Real Rad Dad also, but not enough damage so far to get a kill. Looks like Real Rad Dad might go down, and he finally does. Needens trying to escape with his life, but that's not going to work either. That is one dead Pink Wolf. And just like that, the Black Hand decides they might not be out of this game yet. But just like that, Akashi gets chucked into the back line. Magnetic might regret that, as he tosses his own murderer right next to him. Akashi does end up going down, but Leoric is used to that at this point. He's the Skeleton King. He loves living in the dead world. I mean, he still gets to run around and do stuff. So, what can the Black Hand accomplish with this? They've hit level 17. They're back onto an even talent tier. Looks like they're going to grab this boss, and they have, just like that, actually taken the lead. 16-14 currently for the Black Hand. Coming back into this game with a really nice team fight down bottom. Finally managing to get a kill onto Greymane, which really seemed to take a lot of the oomph out of Reality's punches. How much further can they go? There's still a bell tower behind at the moment. Looks like they're just going to grab a siege camp. Leoric making his way up to the top lane to try to recover that altar. Dione now back down to defend this one. It's taking a while for them to get this siege camp. Needens now taking a peek, but is that a little bit dangerous? Not really. He's got the support of 4 members of a team. Kupolin bounces people out of the way, but it looks like they're going to actually... well, the siege camp, ends up coming to nothing. We've got a 5v4 bottom lane as Leoric is still up top trying to deal with that top bell tower. And it looks like they may lose the bottom one in the process. That is going down fast, and just like that, it's gone. Leoric very slowly taking back this top one. So the balance of bell towers remains the same. It's still a 1-tower advantage at the moment for Reality Esports, making them get extra bullets out of any altars they happen to control. And now they're going for this middle one. Now, at the moment, it's an even talent here, but pretty soon Reality is going to be hitting that all-important level 20. Dione coming up alone here. Very brave, I guess. He gets away with it. Zoning them out, getting on his mount, and getting away. Bottom bell tower going back over in the favor of the Black Hand, and we have another pause. I'll take that as a moment to catch my breath and take a sip of water. Alright, so it's another case of lag, apparently. We're just going to wait until Dione can get that sorted out. So this gives us a chance to take a look at the state of the game here. Obviously, it's hard to say where things will go from here. If we just look at the core health, it's actually an advantage at the moment for the Black Hand, 14-10. If we look at the structures, that's a little bit in favor of Reality Esports, as they've been putting continual pressure on the bell towers. And just as I say that, we're down bottom, as it's currently being actually reclaimed for the Black Hand, so there's nothing that Reality can do to take it. However, they have position right now on this bottom altar, and I don't see any way for the Black Hand to really do anything about it. And actually, Reality deciding they don't want to take it right now. They're going to wait until they can get this altar so they can get more bullets. It's definitely more efficient if you can make that work. However, as they were doing that, they lost the middle one. So perhaps, they might actually end up with fewer than they otherwise would have. So they just decide to grab it now. Oh, I guess it still counts as theirs. 5-3. All right, so this is a very even game. Any team could still win this. Engagement happening in the mid lane. Both teams have hit level 20. Magnetic in the middle of the enemy team taking a lot of damage. Rain of Vengeance goes down, hitting a couple of people. Corruption, though, in that lane, That landed on a few people for sure. Gul'dan, however, is dead. No more corruption is going to happen. Leoric managed to take him down. Dayuni has tried to zone a Real Rad Dad. Real Rad Dad, however, getting close. Oh my goodness, Akashi gets thrown into the death zone. Manages to get away with a Wraithwalk. That was close. 2 deaths now on the side of Reality. That's a 5v3 advantage on the field for the Black Hand. Last couple team fights have gone in their favor, however. They missed an altar, and they're down to 6 core health. So, 6 to 10. Boss isn't going to be up for another minute and a half. We'll see if the Black Hand can at least take back some of these bell towers. I mean, at the moment, they're just going to take back ones they've previously lost. I'm not sure if they're going to have time to get a new one before Reality can just take their top. Once again, we see that top mercenary camp going over to Reality Esports. Black Hand going down bottom. Going to take out this bottom bell tower. But they're definitely going to lose this top one at the same time. At least they're keeping things even, I suppose. But you would hope with a 5v3 advantage you could do a little bit better than that. But it's not to be. However, the advantage they have is they are in position for these altars. All members now are back to life for Reality Esports. And it looks like the Black Hand might actually be trying to pull a sneaky move. They catch Magnetic coming out of the portal. Rain of Vengeance goes down. Magnetic instantly killed at the top of that team fight. But look at the damage going on to the Black Hand. That was a lot of AoE bursts coming out, I believe, from the Gul'dan, probably, perhaps the Grey Mane as well. Causes Black Hand to have to walk away, but they did get a really, really nice kill onto Garrosh to start that off. So Reality Esports at a current disadvantage, deciding they're going to try to take this team fight anyway, and it looks like it might pay off. Unlucky low. Akashi very low. Sanctification goes down to save those members. Infafox, however, goes down. Sound Barrier comes out. Matt 407 now in extreme danger. Rhaegar dies. Rhaegar dies now. Needens is down. Real Rad Dad follows very shortly thereafter, and that is a complete team wipe. Black Hand closing their fist around Reality, wiping them out, losing no members of that team. Extremely well played from the Black Hand. What can they do with this advantage now? The boss has returned. They've got... I mean, I think they've got this game. That is a... They're just going to escort some skeleton men into here, or what? What are they up to? They've got 2 core health left. Oh, here they come. Pumpkin Man, Pumpkin Man. Here we go. Boom! And just like that, the Black Hand comes back, taking a victory for themselves after a 3-game losing streak, deciding that, you know what? Reality is not so strong after all. So that's a 1-1 in this series. Reality took game 1, and the Black Hand came back and took game number 2. Interestingly, each team taking the map that the other team chose. Black Hand having chosen Sky Temple, and losing in game 1. Reality choosing Towers of Doom for game 2 and losing to the Black Hand. Really nicely done from both teams tonight. Congratulations to the Black Hand for taking down Reality. That's going to give each of those teams 1 point in the standings, bringing the Black Hand up to 8 and Reality up to 6. You've been watching the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Bludgeon. Thank you for watching tonight. We'll catch you later. Good night.